Hello students, and welcome to another video. I'm your teacher, Mr. Flynn, and today we're going to be talking about the structure of DNA. This will be the first video of several going in and talking about DNA. Now, all year we have been talking about DNA in the sense that it stores genetic information and that it codes for traits, and those traits are in segments called genes. And we've had this little conversation through the year, but now we're finally going to get into it, okay? Now, when you think about the shape of DNA, we call it a double helix, all right? This shape right here. Now, basically, it's just a ladder, right? If we have one side, the other, and then we have the rungs that go across the ladder, right? That's basically the shape of DNA. And then when it's twisted, right, we call it a double helix, all right? So basically, it's just a twisted ladder shape. That's basically what that means. Let me just erase some of this stuff here. Okay? Now, on this ladder, we have these letters, and these letters are called nucleotides. All right, now nucleotides are made up of three pieces. We have a phosphate, a sugar, and a base. Okay, now the base is a deoxyribose. Now that's why we call it DNA, is deoxyribose nucleic acid. Okay, now I'm not going to have you memorize that for the test. It's good to know what that means, but basically it's a sugar with a phosphate as a backbone. So this gray part of our ladder is a phosphate and a sugar. And then we have these bases that are different, and they are essentially the code. And they come in varieties of A, T, C, and G. Okay? Now, if you look down below here, on the four types of nucleotides, A stands for adenine, T is for thymine, C is for cytosine, and G is for guanine. Now, A only pairs with T, and C only pairs with G. Now, how I remember this is I look at the shape. So A and T both have lines in them, C and G are round, and they have that round curve to them. All right, that's just how I remember them. There's a bunch of sayings that you can learn for these, but that's just how I do it, okay? Now, the structure, as far as with atoms go, like a more detailed model, is down below. So we have our phosphate, our sugar, and then our adenine, okay? Now, they're together, and they form what we call a nucleotide, and then they bond to the other side, okay? All right, now there's these bonds that are forming right through the middle of this, okay? All right, now that's the essence of what DNA is, all right? And DNA is a lot like computer code. If you've ever looked at computer code, like barcodes, it's 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. It's got these single digits and of 0 or 1, and we can derive information from that, like a barcode, all right? You can do the same thing with these nucleotides. You go A, C, G, G, T, T, C, G, right? The other side has the reciprocal, all right? And what we notice is that certain portions will code for certain proteins, and we'll talk about how that happens later, but we're just going over the structure, all right? That's all we want to look at. I don't want to get too far. I'm going to get carried away, all right? Now, what we're doing is we're just looking at these letters, and they match up, and they form like a code, like a barcode does, okay? All right, now down below, let's just do a little bit of review. Okay, now where is DNA found? DNA is found inside the nucleus. Okay, if it's a eukaryotic cell, it's in a nucleus. If it's in a prokaryotic cell, it's just free floating inside. All right, and it's all twisted and put together, and it's loosely held together. Now, when DNA is going to divide, it goes and forms chromosomes when it's doing oh my gosh, I'm struggling. Division. When it's undergoing division, they will form these chromosomes, and they'll tightly coil themselves together, okay? And just as a review, a chromosome is a bunch of wound-up DNA, you can see here, and a segment of this DNA codes for traits, right? And we've already spent some time talking about that in the last unit on genetics, right? What a gene is. And basically, when we talk about genes, now we're looking at the hardware. We're looking down at the atomic level, and we're looking at how these atoms are arranging themselves to form this code so that it can express itself as a specific trait, okay? All right, and we're going to build a model of this in class with beads, and you're going to be able to see that sugar, the phosphate, and that different colors. We're going to use different colors to represent the different bases of these and how they pair up to form genes. Okay? All right, this is just an overview. If you have questions, please come talk to me. Thanks again. Until next time.